Qatar Airways, Serra, ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India Limited, Shriram Finance and Samsonite.
Good evening and welcome to the News Hour. I'm Madhavdas GK. Ladies and gentlemen, amidst the controversy over forced conversions, the Prime Minister today, in his strongest reminder to the nation, cited Mughal ruler Aurangzeb and said that he wanted to convert the two sons of Guru Gobind Singh, but they laid down their lives while defending their faith. The PM said that Aurangzeb wanted to convert the Sahibzades to Islam by force, but they didn't bow down to him, and that Sahibzada's Shaurya Gatha was forgotten. But New India is correcting an old mistake that was committed decades ago. The PM said that Sahibzades are an inspiration for generations, but unfortunately, in the name of history, the youth is being taught certain narratives that are leading to an inferiority complex. He said that youth will now decide the future of India, and it's important for them to select their source of inspiration wisely. Listen in.
दो निर्दोष बालकों को दीवार में जिंदा चुनवाने जैसी दरिंदगी क्यों की गई? वो इसलिए क्योंकि औरंगजेब और उसके लोग गुरु गोविंद सिंह के बच्चों का धर्म तलवार के दम पर बदलना चाहते थे। एक और नृशंसता ने अपनी सभी सीमाएं तोड़ दी, तो दूसरी ओर धैर्य, शौर्य, पराक्रम के भी सभी प्रतिमान टूट गए। अगर हमें भारत को भविष्य में सफलता के शिखरों तक ले जाना है, तो हमें अतीत के संकुचित नजरियों से भी आजाद होना पड़ेगा।
Now the MIM has hit out at the Prime Minister, blaming him of Muslim bashing. MIM leader Mufti Ismail said that Hindus convert on larger scale than Muslims, but the Prime Minister was only targeting Muslims. Listen.
तो धर्म परिवर्तन की कोशिश तो हिंदू समाज की तरफ से भी हो रही है, लेकिन उस पर कोई बात नहीं करता। बात अगर की जाती है तो सिर्फ मुस्लिम समाज को लेकर के बात की जाती है। अगर ये कानून बनता है कि भाई धर्म परिवर्तन नहीं होना चाहिए, तो जाहिर बात है ये कानून सबके लिए बनेगा, सिर्फ मुसलमानों के लिए बनेगा। ऐसा तो नहीं है कि कोई अगर इस्लाम धर्म कबूल करेगा तो उसके लिए ये सज़ा और ये कानून, और अगर जो है इस्लाम धर्म छोड़ करके कोई दूसरा धर्म कबूल करता है तो उसको आज़ादी होगी। देश में दो तरह का तो कानून नहीं बनेगा। लेकिन आप देखोगे कि धर्म परिवर्तन हिंदू समाज की तरफ से भी होता है और जगह जगह ये इसके लिए जो है बाकायदा प्रोग्राम करते हैं।
The ecosystem today is targeting PM for exposing Aurangzeb's tyranny by calling it Islamophobia. But they must also remember that Aurangzeb has been often described as a ruthless tyrant who was an expansionist. He imposed tough Sharia laws and brought back the discriminatory jizya tax that Hindus had to pay in return for protection. He's also been known for his hatred towards music and other fine arts and has ordered the destruction of several temples. However, the ecosystem seems to have forgotten all of this. But the JDU and RJD also today targeted PM, saying the Prime Minister was trying to divert the attention of the youth and was spreading hatred in society.
देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एकमात्र एजेंडा नफरत फैलाओ और देश के नौजवानों को भटकाओ। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी इस तरह की भाषा प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में कहीं ना कहीं भारत का जो संवैधानिक व्यवस्था है उसके अनुरूप नहीं है। इस पर सभी को ध्यान देना चाहिए और उसमें कोई किसी के संबंध में ऐसी भाषा का इस्तेमाल नहीं करेंगे जिससे कि समाज में नफरत फैले।
बीजेपी is known to create communal divide, social divide, and now the PM is at its best. Now PM is taking out examples from the pages of history just to create division among Hindus and the Muslims. That is the best they can do, and he's best at it. But people know him, what kind of a person BJP are, and what kind of a prime minister we have. So it doesn't matter how much he tries to divide Hindus and Muslims and all sects and the caste. The India is one, and Hindu Muslim are one. He will not succeed in his own designs. And in 2024, whatever PM does, he will be ousted. He will pack his box and go.
All right, and that brings me to the legitimate question that we're asking this evening. Is opposition denying facts for fear-mongering?
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guests. Joining us is Jaiveer Shergill, national spokesperson of the BJP. Ratan Sharda, author, is with us. Also with us, of course, is Mr. Mahishinder Singh Grewal, who's the chief spokesperson of the SAD. Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, is with us. We also have with us Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, Anirban Banerjee, political analyst, also joining us. But let me start first and foremost with Majid Hyderi. Majid Hyderi, what is historically wrong with what the Prime Minister said? It's a fact. Aurangzeb was a tyrant. That's something that's very well known. He destroyed places of worship, imposed jizya. And it's a fact that it was under his regime that, in fact, we have seen the Sahibzade who were literally walled in. Young children being forced to convert. What can be more cruel than that?
Well, Aurangzeb emperor was not only one of the finest emperors of this country, but he was the architect of the very idea of Akhand Bharat, because it was Aurangzeb who consolidated India into one nation.
Sir,
Aurangzeb was there,
Mr.
India
Majid Hyderi,
into bits and pieces of Rajwada.
Mr. Majid Hyderi, there are guests giving you, who would even stand up and give you an ovation for, your very, very, fine observations, if I can call it that, in a lighter vein. It's ridiculous that you want to look at India only as a geographical unit and not about the crimes against humanity that he committed. How can you be so blinkered? How can you be so blinkered, sir?
30 seconds, sir. Sir, please give me 30 seconds. If Aurangzeb was really a tyrant, or if he wanted forcible conversions, there would have been no Hindus or other religions left in the country. But
the fact that he destroyed the most important places of worship doesn't matter to you? The fact that he destroyed the most important places of worship for Hindus, from Banaras to Chittur to Udaipur, destroying over 60 temples in Amber. There's so many examples that I can cite. None of that makes any difference. That's a sign of a liberal leader to you.
And safety, the kind of respect and safety Emperor or
what safety, sir? Jizya safety
never existed before.
What safety is this? Jizya. Jizya is the safety net that he had.
No, if he was taking that tax for the sake of security, what?
Oh my God! What a liberal man! What a liberal man! Ratan Sharda, what a liberal man!
We had a road in his name, sir. We had Aurangzeb road till 2014.
No. You're justifying the murder of children on television today.
Aurangzeb will remain our hero.
Majid Hyderi, people are watching you today. You're justifying the murder of children aged 6 and 9. That's what you're doing on national television today. You're justifying beheading of people. What happened to Guru Tej Bahadur is very well known. The Seesganj Gurdwara in Chandni Chowk in New Delhi is a testament to Aurangzeb's cruelty. You're justifying all those acts of cruelty on national television today. Please remember that. Please remember that. You're justifying it. You are justifying it.
How cruelty happens.
No, are you justifying it? Yes or no?
I am justifying him as being one of the finest Mughal emperors India has ever seen.
There you go. Despite the brutalities, well-recorded brutalities, Majid Hyderi finds it so difficult to even admit it. Leave alone come out and talk about his contribution if he had any. Leave alone calling him out for his brutality. Here you have someone who's still praising him. Ratan Sharda, please come in.
Majid Hyderi comes from Kashmir. And if you to look at his own heritage, he would find himself a Hindu before Sikandar Butchikan came, destroyed temples and called himself Butchikan and converted millions of Kashmiri Hindus to Islam. But that is not Islam. That is really called Islamophobia today. Now, since he says that Aurangzeb was such a nice, kind person, he talks of Akhand Bharat. Does he know who made the Akhand Bharat? Chandragupta Maurya, 4 BC, or his kind information. Coming down, what does Muslim historian Farishta says? From 650 AD, when Muhammad bin Qasim attacked India, to 1500 AD, when the British Maratha Empire rose and then British came, 400 million population was reduced in India. Just imagine, 400 million, this is as per Farishta. If we say Farishta is inflating the figure, you could reduce to half. But still, and does he know that, we are not talking of one Aurangzeb only, it's the entire bigotry of invaders, basically Islamic invaders from Turks to onwards. And why should we identify the Indian Muslims with invaders? The basic problem starts when we start identifying our Indian Muslims with the invaders. 99.9%. And today we are justifying that.
Right.
We are justifying every kind of atrocity. It is not question of Why should we just say because Modi ji said something, we start opposing? What is wrong in addressing history, accepting history, facing history, and saying let's move on? Why should
absolutely,
we should try to
Ratan
identify
Sharda,
today's Muslim and say Hindu-Muslim hate?
Ratan Sharda, the number of atrocities of Aurangzeb is a very...
Guru Nanak say?
Yeah.
Guru Nanak, he said, Khurasan khasmana kiya, Hindustan daraya, दे आप पे दोस्त ने दे ही करता जुम किए मुगल चढ़िया. This was Guru Nanak Dev much before Guru Tegh Bahadur, much before Arjan Dev, etc., etc. So these people don't respect history, don't respect.
You know, Aurangzeb, just for the record, did not even spare his own brother. I think that's very well known what he did to Dara Shikoh. But let me just come in on that and bring in Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, you know, the track record of people like Aurangzeb is very well known. I don't even want to go down the road of history. I mean, you can of course raise any point that you want to. But you know, what is the Prime Minister ultimately doing? He is honoring the valor of these children. He is talking about Veer Bal Diwas. It's just an occasion to commemorate them and their bravery. And yet you have people who come in and make these kind of observations. You know, why do we have to politicize every aspect of our political life? And our history? Isn't this not something that all Indians must look up to?
So first of all, good evening. Thank you for having me on your show, and good evening to all my fellow panelists. And I certainly don't believe Aurangzeb was some great emperor. I personally believe, and this is history I learned when Congress was in power, and in Maharashtra, that Aurangzeb was a tyrant. So I cannot go about saying Aurangzeb was a great king. I think there are two questions that are fundamental that we need to ask. And point number one is, in 2022 or 2023, as we are heading to the new year, we want to discuss the past, or does the Prime Minister want to discuss the past? Sure, it was an occasion where the Honorable Prime Minister was speaking about sacrifices, but is that all that is left? Because certainly the Veer children or the Veer soldiers from Punjab or the Veer soldiers who fought the tyrants from anywhere across the world would have been more proud of our most honorable
I don't get that
Prime
argument, Tehseen. What are we saying? The Prime Minister and we as a nation should forget the valor. No, you can complete your point. I'm not stopping you from speaking. I am just asking you a simple question.
I would just like
is
to
the point that you're making? I'm clarifying the point. Prime Minister should not speak about the valor of anyone because it's not politically expedient for a certain section.
Well, first of all, I don't know what is the certain section. Can you clarify which is the certain section? Which is the certain section you're talking about?
Those who are coming out, people like Majid Hyderi who are valorizing Aurangzeb, saying he was a great king. We have the reaction of AIM, which you just heard, who are talking about conversion and only see it from that perspective of conversion, saying Hindus bhi convert kar rahe. No, my point is that. My point is those who are coming out to make this controversial. That's a simple point.
Okay, MIM is a partner of the BJP. They want to polarize this country. It helps the Prime Minister. Otherwise, MIM would have been acted upon. They don't want to do it. So let's not go MIM and give them importance. A party of 1 or 2 MPs, let's not give them importance. Let's speak about what is prudent. First, yes, on the occasion the Prime Minister spoke, kudos to him, great. But continuously this dog whistle that is attempted to be made. What is the need? And here's my fact. The fact is that the Prime Minister, while he speaks rightly about what happened in the past, that is wrong, and Aurangzeb was a tyrant. Does the Honorable Prime Minister have the guts to speak about what's happening wrong in the present? For example, China. He doesn't have the guts to take China's name. Now, the Veer that we are honoring today has certainly been proud of our country.
Okay. I think we are now taking this way out of context. Tehseen,
you interrupted me 2 times.
Tehseen, you're taking this way out of context. Stick to the subject. Stick to Aurangzeb. You've reached China.
Sir, I'm going to make my point. If you don't want my point, you've invited me on a debate.
Stick to the subject, Tehseen. Stick to the subject.
Will they make the point I want? If you interrupt me, there is no point having me on the debate.
I will interrupt anybody who's going off topic. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give everyone a free pass.
Sir, if you want
make your point. You have 20 seconds to conclude your point now.
No, I'm going to make my point, and I will not like an interruption. I will take about 45 seconds again.
20 seconds.
I don't think I will take 45 seconds. If you can give me the time, otherwise I'll keep quiet. You can continue. I'll keep quiet or I'll leave. No problem. You decide.
Tehseen, you have 20 seconds. Complete your point. You've been talking for some time now. The other panelists on the show as well.
If you can't, you please go on. I'll leave. There is no problem, sir. But allow me to make my point.
All right. You made a number of questions of the BJP. I've given you a chance to speak. Now go across to Veer Shergill. Veer Shergill, 2 questions that have been raised of the BJP. One is that MIM is your partner. And point number 2 that is being made, Veer Shergill, is this, that these are all unnecessary debates that are being engaged in by the Prime Minister and the BJP. These are not debates that are required at all. Veer Shergill, please respond.
Madhavji, thank you for having me on your show. There is a very famous English saying, truth is bitter. The fact is the Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi ji, has spoken the truth, and that is why it is sounding bitter to the opposition parties. But before I make I saw the comments on your channel, the opening remarks, the remarks made before by a gentleman. Today, the most worrying part is the hatred for Prime Minister Narendra Modi by the opposition has reached such dangerous level that they are ready to become spokespersons, ready to become worshippers of Aurangzeb and haters of Akhand Bharat. This is the most dangerous ecosystem which the Prime Minister is warning about. Point number one. Point number two, I take a serious objection to the fact that Tehseen, my good friend, said this is a dog whistle. No, sir. Today, as a Sikh, I'm proud of the fact that it is first time the Prime Minister of a nation and we as a nation in a united way are celebrating, saluting the valor of 4 Sahibzadas, which was conveniently forgotten by the previous governments. 2 important things have happened today. Let's not forget. 1. PM Narendra Modi ji has scripted history by declaring 26 December as Veer Bal Diwas. And second, he has corrected the errors of the past of neglecting Sikh history, neglecting the history of courage, of valor. Today, Prime Minister's message, speech raises a very pertinent question in every mind of every Indian. Why was Sahibzada's courage, valor not celebrated before? Why was it not talked about in our history books? Why there was not a special day dedicated to that? That is a pertinent question he's raised. And lastly, yes, the speech holds very valid in today's context. Today, in Indian political electoral landscape, as is evident on your TV screen, the Prime Minister has warned against ideologies which support Aurangzeb, against ideologies of hatred, against ideology of terrorism. Today, it is unfortunate Indian democracy has allowed registration of political parties which, like Mr. Owaisi, his brother goes to the tomb of Aurangzeb. That Aurangzeb, who not only did atrocities on Kashmiri Pandits, on the 4 Sahibzadas, also let's not forget Bibi Sharan Kaur, who went there to commemorate the 4 Sahibzadas, 32 brave Sikh soldiers, and she was practically thrown into the funeral pyre by them. Prime Minister wants the nation to know about 2 ideologies. Number 1 ideology, the Indian culture. You respect your father, you follow his ideology and give life for your nation, which is the 4 Sahibzadas.
Let me come
ideology.
Yeah.
One last minute.
Yeah,
One less.
quickly, 10 seconds, quickly.
Aurangzeb, which imprisons his own father. What has Prime Minister done wrong? Differentiating between justice and injustice, differentiating between genocide and standing up for rights.
1 second. Majid Hyderi, I'll come to you. 1 second. Yeah.
The opposition is troubled by the fact that Prime Minister is today honoring the Sikh community, which the previous governments could not do.
Okay. Ravi Srivastav, come in on that. The Prime Minister is honoring the Sikh community, something that previous governments could not do. That's what they are upset about, number 1. Number 2, very important point that he makes, that these are political parties who are objecting, who ultimately go to the tomb of Aurangzeb and actually honor it. We saw what Akbaruddin Owaisi did a few months ago, and this is just a corollary to that, it seems. Because at the end of the day, you have political parties that come out and venerate and, actually visit the tomb of Aurangzeb, whose history is very well known, sir. Or are you like some of the panelists going to be in complete denial about what role Aurangzeb played and the atrocities he committed?
There are political parties which worship even the Godse today. So what's the big deal? What I'm saying...
No, who's worshipping Godse? Which is the political party? Name them. Name them. If they're on this panel, we'll ask them. Which is the political party that worships Godse? Which is the party, sir? Please tell us.
The BJP, the RSS, they do it.
Mr. Shergill, does your party worship Mr. Godse?
There are temples for them.
All right, I'm going to Ravi Srivastav, please give us the name and the occasion when there are people of the BJP and RSS who have worshipped Godse. Please give us the example. Name and date.
I'll send you Aligarh tape. I'll send you social media reports are there. Social media pictures are there.
Sir, social media pictures.
They are praising. Anyway, now let us...
No, you're asking a question of the BJP. We certainly do not know. No news channel, sir, will go purely by social media reports. There could be a number of fakes. If you are referring to fringe groups and right-wing organizations, that's another thing. But you're referring to political parties. And that's what makes it very dangerous when a responsible political commentator like you says that political parties like BJP are justifying Godse. That becomes extremely problematic, Mr. Ravi Srivastav. Would like to correct your position now.
News channels may have their own compulsions, which I don't stand for.
So you believe every social media post?
There are compulsions for the channels. That is up to them. Now let me tell you this. What Prime Minister is doing, what he is best at. Is to divide the people. No, create a particular community in the same.
How is honoring the Sahibzadas dividing the people, sir?
Did I interrupt anybody? Did I interrupt anybody?
You cannot insult somebody where the person is not, where person is nothing. You cannot falsify history. You are talking of Hindu Mahasabha, some other prince.
Your friends, your brothers are worshipping Nathuram Godse. And if you have got on the channel, you say Nathuram Godse Murdabad. You say on the channel Nathuram Godse Murdabad. If you have got, you say it here.
You cannot come here.
You say it here, Nathuram Godse Murdabad. You say it.
None of them
don't take speech. Don't take speech over here. You want to.
We are talking of Mughal atrocities.
You say here, Nathuram Godse Murdabad.
Ravi Srivastava, from party to friends to, what have you. The problem is this. If you don't stick to facts, then there will be people who will call you out. But I want to bring in some other panelists. One second, I'm seeing many hands going up. But Jaivir Shergill, the charge coming up again and again from opposition side that this is just being done with a view to divide society. I want you to respond to that in the direct name of BJP that came in, and then I go across to other panelists, Mr. Grewal and Anirban Banerjee. Yes, JB.
Yes, the Prime Minister wants a society to understand the clear division. The division between supporters of Aurangzeb, who committed genocide, who killed Kashmiri Pandits, killed Sikhs, and a society which worships the valor of Guru Gobind Singh, Guru Tegh Bahadur. Yes, we want that division. Yes, we want the division between Ovaisis who go to the tomb of Aurangzeb and Bharatiya Janata Party which celebrates Sikh history. Yes, we want the division with ideology and supporters who in their shared hatred for Prime Minister Narendra Modi are today
the entire community with the same brush which the nation does not accept.
And we want the society to recognize those sections who gave life in honor of this nation. So yes, BJP is dividing the society and hate mongers and people who love
Ravi Srivastava, let me ask you a simple question. I just want to set the, let me just set the record straight. One second. Calm down, Ravi Srivastava, calm down. I have a simple question for you. Ravi Srivastava. Simple question. Can you answer it? What should be the position of any government on Sahibzade? Should they not be honored? Should their valor not be recognized?
No. Honor. You honor it. There is no harm in it.
So what has the Prime Minister done that's wrong?
Why to malign the entire community? That's what
Who's maligning the community? The Prime Minister
doing it.
Sir, the Prime Minister only said.
No, he's talking about conversion. Why is he talking about conversion?
Because they were forced to be converted. That's why they were killed.
Sikhs and Muslims are the best friends. Do you know that? In Ludhiana, they have got Nabi Khan, Ghani
My
Khan.
God, nobody is doubting anyone being best friends, sir.
Yes,
why are we doubting historical facts? Is it not a historical fact that they were forced to convert and therefore were killed because they did not relent, Ravi Srivastava?
No.
Let me bring in Mr. Grewal on that. Mr. Majid Singh Grewal is a spokesperson of Shiromani Akali Dal. Mr. Grewal, here you have Ravi Srivastava who has a problem with the recognition of what the Prime Minister said. What is factually wrong in what the Prime Minister said, nobody's been able to counter. Because we're all talking about this, divisions in society, we're talking about spreading hate. Nothing on ground that the Prime Minister said that's factually wrong has yet been referred to by any of them. Mr. Grewal.
First of all, I feel ashamed of the people who makes Aurangzeb as a hero. And I'm equally hurt by Mr. Poonewala saying that there are many things to be done and why they are taking the old history. If we burn Ravana every year, it's good. If we remember Indira Gandhi on 31st of October, it's good. But if it comes to Sahibzadas, it pains them. Gentlemen, India would not have been in a present position had this unique sacrifice has not been made by young Sahibzadas. It's too little and too late by the government that at last they have recognized this supreme sacrifice, not for the rule, not for their person, but against the terrorism of conversion. They lost their young lives for the religion and against the repression by that ruler. You can tell him as a hero. It's a shame on the nation and the people who are saying him as a hero. I am happy today Shergill is supporting. They have done the same thing in 1984 when demolished the Akal Takht. I tell you one thing, history will not excuse those people, those who are trying to belittle this biggest world history sacrificed by these.
Well, Mr. Grewal, just to clarify, Mr. Shergill is today representing the BJP, but since you took the name of Tehseen Poonawalla, you're ignoring the role that have been played by the Sahibzade, the historical role of not just those from Punjab, but these two young children who have proved to be an inspiration for generations. You're taking away from that. Mr. Grewal says this itself is too little, too late. And here we are bickering about how this is allegedly a move to, divide society or paint society in some particular colors. It's none of that. It's a recognition of the historical valor. Why is that so difficult to accept is the question he's asking. Please respond to it.
It's not difficult to accept, which is why I was asking you for time earlier on, because I knew that this would be misconstrued. So if you don't interrupt me, I'll explain. I think what the Prime Minister did is right. I think Aurangzeb is a tyrant. I learned my history when Congress was in power, so did you, Madhav. And I think Aurangzeb is a tyrant who needs to be condemned. So I think to that extent, the Honorable Prime Minister is right. I also think what the Honorable Prime Minister did today is it should be commended. There's nothing wrong in it, though I'm opposing the BJP. I think that's good. I am making another point, two factual points. While we take inspiration from our brave, who've helped shape our present history, let's take inspiration in naming those who are indulging in tyranny today. But the Prime Minister who has the guts to, who rightly so takes the name, doesn't have the guts to take the name of those who are committing tyranny today. For example, China, he doesn't have the guts to do it. That is not being inspired. That is using it politically. Point number 2, and please allow me to make my last point. I want to just stand up for Ravi ji. Pragya Thakur is not a fringe. She's a member of parliament. Today I filed a police complaint against her. The most honorable Prime Minister told Navika that I will not forgive her from her heart. And today she said that weapons should be held to cut off the heads of one community. Today she said, yesterday she said it. Today I filed a police complaint. The BJP doesn't have the guts to take on that hate. What did our Sikh gurus teach us? What does the great state of Punjab teach us? It teaches us love. What are people and members of parliament of the BJP doing? Cut this one's head, cut that one's head. Is that the way of Punjab? Is that what
I've seen 2 points from what I've read from that member of parliament speech that you were referring to. I do not think she's referred to any community from what I've read and to the best of my knowledge. She referred to a certain them. I don't want to get into that comment because I think that comment itself, one second, she refers to those who carried out killings of Harsha and Bajrang Dal. She's not referred to any one individual. It could be a certain banned organization also. I don't even want to take the name of that organization for the moment. 1 second, but let me just come in on this point and let me bring in Anirban. Anirban, the simple question is this. Forced conversion is an issue which the Supreme Court of this country is also seized of. You very well know what the Supreme Court observed a few weeks ago when it talked about how this is not acceptable, how the centre needs to act. So if the Prime Minister's referred to a certain, incident that has taken place historically, and a few weeks ago we have had the same issue raised by the Supreme Court, why is it that even the Prime Minister making an observation of a factual situation or a historical fact becomes so controversial, becomes something that we cannot agree on?
See, Madhav, a few moments back, you said that nothing can be taken out of context, and I completely agree with you. In this case, the context goes like this, that if you put a scalpel in the hand of a medical surgeon, he will save lives. And if you put a scalpel in the hands of a butcher, he will take lives. So therefore, in this case, the context is that the Prime Minister is also a member of an organization and a party which has a history of genocides. I was rather laughing when Jaibir Shergill was referring to Aurangzeb committing genocides. It is the RSS BJP who have been involved, or at least alleged to have been involved in many genocides in the past. Therefore, when the Prime Minister is actually speaking about forced conversions and etc. on a pious occasion,
none of which have been proven in a court of law. None of which have been proven in a court of law. You're a lawyer, sir.
To divide the country once again.
Let's be little clear about the laws, at least in this particular case. The allegations. You can make allegations politically. I have no problem. But they are allegations at the end of the day.
What hasn't been proved? Will you say that in 2002 there was no genocide during which Mr. Modi was the Chief Minister?
Sir, there are acts of violence that have taken place across the country. When you come,
Muslims and those who called 2/3 Hindus and 1/3, 2/3 Muslims, 1/3 Hindus.
Is a genocide, Madhav. It is very different from an act of violence. It was a genocide.
Only in Gujarat did writers face law. They went to jail. They were punished, including those who burned people in Gujarat. They also suffered. They also were put through law. And in your Bengal, what is the situation? You were forced by High Court to file FIRs. You refused to file FIRs. when people are killed, raped and looted. At that time,
Again. You people worship gang rapists, sir. Please don't speak about Bengal. You don't have the dignity to do it. You don't have the dignity to speak about Bengal. You people don't have the dignity. You people don't have the right to speak about Bengal. You people are worshippers of gang rapists. You people worship gang rapists. Please don't speak about Bengal with your dirty tongues.
And when people are imprisoned, jailed, accused people are punished, you are saying
there was a genocide during the Modi regime in 2002. You people have let free gang rapists, mass murderers, child murderers, and you have worshipped them.
You are trying to cover up Islamic.
All right, let me just come in now. I think we are veering off the subject, and the subject is Aurangzeb and the context in which those comments have been made. Gentlemen, I just want to bring in Mr. Grewal again. Mr. Grewal, the point is that every time this debate comes up, we go on to another rant. We go into another rant, and all sorts of events of the past come up. But what is your message to those who today have such a big problem with the Prime Minister's recognition? You've seen all sorts of comments coming in that the Prime Minister should speak about this issue, the government should speak about that issue, that there are misplaced priorities. End of the day, the Prime Minister is recognizing a historical fact. What would your demand from all of these individuals who are referring to, so many incidents in history in context of what the Prime Minister has done? What would you say to individuals from Ravi Srivastava to Tehseen Poolawala to Majid Hyderi to Mr. Anirban?
I just say one thing. Guru Nanak Sahib, when Babur attacked India, Babur Bani uchari thi, and it was like that. Iti maar pai kurlane teki dardan aaya, Khurasan samana kiya, jamkar Mughal chadhaya, आपे दोष ना दे ही करता बाबर ਨੂੰ ਚੈਲੰਜ ਕੀਤਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਸਿੱਖ ਗੁਰੂ ਲੜੇ I feel very hurt and pained that the people can't digest the great sacrifices made by the Sikh Gurus and the Sahibzadas. Instead of realizing the gravity that how young they were when they suffered this martyrdom, and instead of appreciating them, they have play politics on any other issue. But please, for God's sake, the community will not ever forget these thankless people who don't recognize the big sacrifices made by the...
Madhav, can I get 30 seconds? Yeah. So I tell you, don't dig out the old wounds to create a wedge between communities. We want harmony. We don't want hatred. Please try for some kind of harmony by digging out facts of which you want to use for your communal motives. Thank you. That is it. And
whether they are roots or facts, if the fact is something that is not a lie, then there is nothing wrong in actually facing reality. I don't understand that. And why should we only talk about relations between certain communities? All Indians are one, sir. Whether it's Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, Parsis, what have you, Buddhists, Jains, we are all one. Why should we only refer to certain relations between community? Let me come into Javeer. Javeer, question addressed at you. Would you like to respond to Majid Hyderi?
Two things. Number one, Times Now is the most watched channel. A wrong statement was given by that one Mr. Anirban, and facing criminal defamation, he should read the order and judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court 24th June 2022. SIT clean chit to Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi Ji regarding Gujarat riots was stamped, upheld and approved by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. So this is not Taliban. Here the law of the land prevails and Supreme Court's clean chit should be honored. Point number one. Point number two. Now what the gentleman was saying. Oh Paji, ਹੁਣ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਹੂੰਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਠੋਕ ਕੇ ਹੀ ਕਹੂੰਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਈ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਚ ਲੜਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹਨਾ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਨਰਿੰਦਰ ਮੋਦੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹੀਰੋ ਅਬਦੁਲ ਕਲਾਮ ਹੋਵੇ ਔਰੰਗਜ਼ੇਬ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਸੁਣ ਲਓ ਕੰਨ ਖੋਲ ਕੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹੀਰੋ ਮੁਹੰਮਦ ਸ਼ਮੀ ਵਰਗੇ ਫਾਸਟ ਬੋਲਰ ਹੋਣ ਤਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਉਸਾਮਾ ਬਿਨ ਲਾਦਨ ਵਰਗਾ ਆਤੰਕਵਾਦੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੀਰੋ ਅਬਦੁਲ ਕਲਾਮ ਹੋਵੇ ਅਜਮਲ ਕਸਾਬ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਾਠ ਨਾ ਪੜਾਓ ਨੰਬਰ 3 you know Madhav, there is a Punjabi our guru 10th Guru Gobind Singh Ji said de shiva bar mohe shubh karman to na kabheo na daru. Never be afraid of doing a good deed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is neither affected, neither deterred, neither impacted by naysayers and worshippers of Aurangzeb before contributing towards the betterment of the Sikh community and honoring the Sikh community. Lastly, what has the Prime Minister said today? The Prime Minister warned the youth of this nation to be cautious of the people who mislead them, who sugarcoat history, who dedicate pages and pages or to Aurangzeb and summarize the entire Sikh history in one paragraph. That was the error. He's correcting it. And we should be as a proud. And lastly, Madhav, I'm sorry. What China? I want my Prime Minister to open the Kartarpur corridor. I want my Prime Minister to celebrate the Char Sahibzades. I want my Prime Minister to waive GST on Langar. I want my Prime Minister to remove 312 Sikh families from blacklist. This is what I'm
completely out of time.
So these people who are supporting Aurangzeb are also lovers of Osama bin Laden.
All right. We'll have to leave it there, Jaiveer Sherwal. Completely out of time. Certainly the passion with which you spoke is quite evident in terms of what you feel and what the sentiments really, particularly within Punjab, would be as far as what the Prime Minister has done today. I'd like to thank Jaiveer Sherwal. I'd like to thank Maheshwar Singh Grewal, as well as Anirban Chatterjee, Ratan Sharda, Ravi Srivastava and Tehseen Poonawala. Stay with us for debate number 2.